Waters presents On the Box.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of On the Box. It is Monday.
How joyful. Another Monday.
If you had been in our office all morning, Ray, you would know that Monday is a joyful day. Chad had 2 energy drinks to start the day.
He did?
Yeah.
What, he doesn't need them.
I know. I know that. But he was on fire today.
He was?
Oh, yeah. I mean, my sides hurt. I was laughing so much this morning over some of the things he was doing and saying. It was,
Doing or saying?
Yes,
There's
both.
a big difference.
Both. Well, no, it was both. It was both. Doing while he was saying while he was doing.
What were you doing, Chad? Let's kick back, huh?
Yeah, see, he hit the wall. He hit the wall now. The energy drinks are gone, and we're going to have to fight.
About that, though.
Yeah.
What's that guy? Is it Dr. Jekyll and like
Mr. Hyde.
Mr. Hyde and Jekyll.
Yeah, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
My family refers to me this way. That when I have an energy drink, I'm like the nice guy. I don't know who this guy is.
So what are you at the moment?
On the downward, I don't think the downward ever happens.
Oh, we're about to find out.
What they
No,
say.
you know when the downward happens?
Tell me.
After the show, when we get out there into the parking lot with the kettlebells, that's when the downward happens.
Like
That's
after
when
the
Mr. Hyde
kettlebells,
comes out.
When
Yeah.
I bring the hammer down.
When you bring the hammer down, yes. Yes,
When I
you are
go
a
into
different person.
instructor mode.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I don't like.
We still love you. We just don't really like you in that mode. That's all. But we
Well,
love you.
I don't like being around people throwing around chick weights. I think you need to jack some steel, get it up over your head, man up.
He promised he wasn't going to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I
That was kind of like a lie.
It was the Mr. Hyde that came out.
That's right. So he's coming out. Yeah. Hey, so how was the weekend out at Huntington Beach?
It was a B.
It was a B.
It was
B's
a B.
a good day?
Absolutely. It was a stinger, really. We just loved it. We showed up. Scott and I showed up just before Chad showed up, but there was a crowd of about probably 300 packed around guys playing bongos and doing flips, and people loved that. And I said, that's a bit depressing because they were pulling all the people. But we noticed when we set up, the wind was blowing from the south, and so their bongos were blowing away the noise, and people started packing around as soon as we started. And our crowd stayed probably 100, 150 people for 2 hours.
Oh, that's great.
Dissipate.
That is a good day.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Any good hecklers?
Some just very interesting things happened. The last one is very memorable. I couldn't find anyone to heckle me, so I said, are you a Christian? Are you a Christian? They said, yeah. I said, what about you? He said, I'm a Catholic. I said, are you born again? And he said, I don't know. I said, you're on the box.
On the box.
I said, on the box. And we got him up. And he was very honest and humble and open. We ended up having a hug in the end. It was a very, very good time.
Okay, and again, to get from a B to an A, because most people hearing that would say that would be like my dream day.
No. An A is absolutely exceptional.
Coming?
No. That's not the second coming. A is when people fall on the ground and say, "What must I do to be saved?"
Okay.
An A plus is the second
It's
coming.
second coming. And we're looking forward to that day.
That's an A
Amen.
plus.
All right, hey, today's giveaway is Ray CD, How to Get on Fire for God. If you'd like to win that, we're going to give away 3 of those today. Email us at onthebox@livingwaters.com. onthebox@livingwaters.com. Full name, full address, please. Only enter once, unless, of course, you have 75 people in your family. I'm beginning to question a couple because there's some.
They're not the Duggars, are they?
No. We know the Duggars.
Yeah.
And if the Duggars entered 20 times,
Yeah,
they probably forgot somebody,
that's
didn't they?
legitimate. Yeah. A couple of dozen behind the couch.
That's right. And please visit our blog at onthebox.us. Hang with us at onthebox.us. Interesting. Phil Johnson over at Grace to You.
Yeah.
John MacArthur's sermon audio ministry. Wrote a very nice blog about open-air preaching
And it was
today.
refreshing. I went and had a look when you mentioned it to me, and
Wasn't it nice?
that guy's got a brain on him, and he's
Phil's amazing.
And
well,
yeah,
he was in season 3, one of the episodes
he
of season
was,
3.
yeah. And we met him at a Transformed.
Yes.
And he's a very nice guy, and he's not theologically exclusive to a point where he looks down condescendingly on open-air preaching.
No.
That-
He recognizes the history. He's got one of the best Spurgeon archives
That's
on the
why
planet.
Spurgeon wasn't
Exactly.
condescending toward open-air preaching.
Yeah.
He
You know,
knew.
Eddie's trying to sneak in right now, trying
Yeah,
to
I know.
walk in very quietly and closing
There's no
that
such
studio
thing.
door.
Why do
Yeah.
you refer to him that way?
Now Eddie's upset.
You insulted him. Don't you know why?
Why?
You're supposed to call him the legend.
Oh,
the legend. Well,
the legend. It didn't creep through. It was like greased lightning went through the
I
studio.
wonder if anyone else heard that door slam. That was
funny.
perfect. He's a funny guy,
Yeah.
at least at the moment.
Well,
Yeah.
as long as he doesn't
All right,
overtake
so
me.
I think, did we show that lower third for the blog, for the Team Pyro blog? Yeah, Pyromaniacs is the name of Phil Johnson and Friends blog, and so if you'd like to take a look at that story on Open Air Preaching,
Can you link
you'll
to
be
it on the
encouraged.
blog?
We can link to anything, anywhere, anytime. If you'd like that, sir, we'll do that.
I think that would be
take
good.
care of that. Okay. Hey, Chad. Chad, not only was Chad with you this week at Open Air Preaching, but Chad went out into the water, kind of like a date with his wife, and has
Yeah.
kind of an interesting story to share.
Yeah.
Chad, what happened
If a
out
Navy
there on the
SEAL
water?
has his choice, he'll bring his date out into the water. So, after church Sunday, we wanted to have a fun day. So went out with my fiance, or my...
Whoa! Hang on.
Yeah.
Edit. Beep.
Bring in Psalm 51
This is
real
what
quick.
happens when you have energy drinks. You start thinking of so many things at once. Okay, so I went out with my wife and brought my brother, who brought his fiance.
There you go.
Okay.
You can see the word
Clarified.
fiance
Yeah.
was somewhere in there.
There you go.
Okay, so
All right.
we went kayaking, and we got about, I don't know, a mile and a half, 2 miles into it. And by the way, we're going to add a little bit of twist to this, okay, Tony?
Okay, go ahead.
So-
it's your story.
What we're going to do, well, I'm going to bring you guys in
What?
on this, all right?
Oh.
You have to turn this into some sort of a spiritual conversation, okay?
Okay.
I'm sure Ray could do it.
Well, I know
Okay,
Ray could do it.
So Ray, check it out. So this weekend we went out in the kayaks, and we got about a mile and a half, 2 miles into it, and then the girl said, "We're tired. We don't feel like paddling anymore." And this was when the current was taking us down current, and the wind was pushing us. So I had a cable, and I decided, you know what? I'll hook up to their kayaks, and I'll just drag them on back. So for the next mile and a half, 2 miles, I ended up dragging them back into a headwind and a current. And the current was so bad that if you even stopped paddling for a moment, you would slow down, stop, and begin to go backwards. So, anyways, it was fun though. Got a nice tan, some fun in the sun.
It was
and
funnier when
got a
you
good little
told me,
workout.
though. Some of the things the ladies were saying, they were not paddling and...
Yeah, I could have thrown that in there.
I'm sorry. You don't want to throw them under the bus.
Under
So
the
that's just office
No,
stuff.
so
Ooh,
while,
sorry,
while
Aubrey.
I'm paddling against this head current, I'm looking back. I had my music. I turned my music up. I put my head down and I just started grinding. I'm like, I ain't gonna sissy out. No chick weights here. I'm grinding through this thing, and I'll take my headphones out and I'll look back, and there they are. They're just sitting with their paddles up, looking at the homes and going, "Wow, that's a really nice home over there," or like enjoying the scenery, while people are out there on their docks and they're like, "That's the way to do it, girls!" Like, these millionaire, ladies out there with their little drinks, "Hey, girls, that's the way to do it."
Margaritas.
By the way, here at Living Water, we like millionaire ladies who hold little drinks. I mean, we don't have anything against them personally, right, Ray?
I
That's
don't
just
know
an
any.
observation, Tony.
Do you know any?
I don't know one. No, I don't know a thousand there, let alone a millionaire.
here's a sermon illustration. Here's
got
the
one
lesson
too.
from that. Do not take your wife kayaking.
What?
No, it wouldn't. They end up pulling them with a rope.
I think that's analogous to the false conversion rate in the church. Many people think that they can just swim in on the coattails of someone else, get into heaven because of who their parents are or what church they're in, and they just sit there in cruise control thinking they're in like Flynn, when in fact they're not.
So
And with-
essentially what you're saying is my wife and my brother's fiance are false converts.
That is not what I
But
said.
they're not if
getting in on
That
they're-
is
the
not what I
coattails.
said.
if they've got a margarita and they're a millionaire, they're fine. But no.
I don't know Aubrey well. I mean, I think the first and only time I
You're
met her
not
was
going
at
to-
the wedding.
You're not going to.
But I can say one thing for certain. Being in an office every day with Chad, Aubrey is an amazing woman.
It's really good.
Amen. All right.
Amen.
Hey, okay, so I can sense Ron upstairs saying, when are we going to talk about evangelism? So let's get going. We're going to share a couple testimonies with you that we received in the last couple of days via email. The first one is from Sarah in Pennsylvania. And she wrote, I just wanted to email you and tell you what a wonderful blessing this show is to me. I have been watching since day one, and I can't even tell you how many things I've learned through you in this show. Before I started watching On the Box, I honestly was never sharing my faith with anyone. I thought that I didn't need to and that it would take up too much of my time. Then after a few weeks of watching this show, I realized that I wasn't doing what the Lord was calling every Christian to do. and that was proclaim the gospel to every living creature. And now I feel more equipped than ever to go out and do such a thing. This show is amazing, and I thank you for making it so beneficial and lots of times hilarious. Yeah, there you go.
She just ruined it.
I love the humor on the show.
Oh,
Keep
that's
it up.
great.
You guys are encouraging and helping me every day. Thank you. Side note to that, Sarah is 12.
Oh, really?
She's 12 years old.
That's why she
And
likes
she's
the
come to
humor.
well, okay, that is amazing, yes.
Yeah, I want to, Sarah, thank you for writing. And
But 12 years old and she's out there sharing
it's
her faith.
very encouraging
Yes.
to know that the show's helped you and that you think it's funny. We sometimes wonder if we overdo that side, but so it's good to know you're smiling.
Yeah. So keep it up, Sarah. Don't quit. And the next one is from Wally. Wally's from Texas, and he's coming to the June Ambassadors Academy. I had the opportunity today to use the GM28 iPhone app along with a portable speaker to present the gospel to several hundred Spanish-speaking people. There was a free garage sale at a park in McKinney, Texas, and the people had to wait in line for 2 hours before the doors opened. The line kept growing, and so my friend headed out tracks to the growing line, and I kept moving down the line every few minutes and kept playing the Spanish gospel presentation to about 30 or 40 people at a time. It worked out great, and the people got to hear the gospel in their own language. Thank you for making this app available. Isn't that cool?
Boy, that is very encouraging, you know. What's the name of the website? GM28 dot something?
Calm.
Com?
Yeah, okay, we'll go with .com.
Is this .com? The
I'll double check on
GM28.
that.
I knew it. It's the GM28. I knew there was something else missing. So yeah, you can go there and download that and,
Yeah.
and use it. Do the same thing to people who don't speak English or they speak
Or just
French
go to
or
the
Russian.
Apple store and look for iPhone app and just do GM28 in the search.
GM28.
It's
It'll
a free
come up.
application, and people are using it as is evident, and that's why
That is wonderful.
That's why you made it.
It's very encouraging.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the mailbag. Unless Chad, you have something to add on any of those testimonies, or you're
No,
typing away there pretty fast.
Good job, Tony. Just want to let you know. Love you, bro.
Love you too, man. All right. This is from Barbara. Barbara's been asking this for a while. In fact, she writes, over a week ago, I asked the question as to what your opinion was about women doing missionary work on their own, and you guys answered in terms of married women going on a mission without her husband. I guess we kind of missed.
We're men, that's why.
Well, that's right. That's right.
You need a woman to set you straight.
My question was and is it okay for a single woman to go out into the world and do missionary work without a man? I'm not married, nor will I be. I'd like to do missionary work, but as I see it, God has called me to be single, and I'm totally okay with that. But I'd like to do missionary work overseas at some point in the future. What is your take on a single woman doing missionary work on her own? So now we have a clear question from Barbara. What do you think, Ray?
You tell me what you think, and then I'll tell you what I think.
I think it's okay so long as she's being sent out and overseen by a group of godly men leading a church.
I think that's absolutely. I think you're very courageous. I think it's wonderful. If the church sends you out, God will open doors for you. I think most of the missionaries in history have been women. Men are just
A lot of them have.
hiding behind closed doors, and the women go out. So a lot of them have, not all of them.
Yeah. Chad, what do you think?
It's the same answers I gave before, except you just skipped the married part.
Okay.
So, number one was, it should be okay with your husband if you are a wife. And if it's okay with your husband, then you ought to be sent out from your church. That's what it is to be a missionary, to be one that is sent out. And then from that point, you shouldn't have a position where you're over men teaching, but you could teach children. You can help out in all kinds of humanitarian ways. You could still share the gospel.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
there you have it.
So, Barbara, our encouragement would be to, one, talk to your pastor and get the approval and support and commissioning from your pastor and the elders in your church. And if God has placed it on your heart to go, then go. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. This next one is from Lane from Sacramento. This one's pretty serious. Not that all of our questions aren't, but this is a tough situation here. My wife and I are separated. I was saved on March 4th, 2010, 2 months after she moved out. I was a false convert for over 30 years. I have recently begun to go to a Way of the Master class at a local church, and she went with me to the first one. I have involved her in my purchases of tracts, and she has been encouraging me to share the gospel with others. My wife is Catholic, and my daughter is still going to Catholic school and recently told me one night that she wasn't sure if she was Catholic or a Christian. How much of the differences between the Catholic doctrine and Orthodox Christian doctrine should I be sharing with her? She is going to be 10 on April 10th.
I like what Spurgeon said about truth. He says, if you've got a crooked stick, he said, don't talk to me about the crooked stick. Well, don't show me the crooked stick. Show me the straight stick. Hold the straight stick, and when you hold the crooked stick next to it, you'll see that it's crooked. And so I would train her up and in the basic doctrines of biblical Christianity so she can see the difference herself, so that you're not telling her this is wrong, because mum might just say, no, the church has got authority over the Bible, whatever, so just teach her the doctrines of Christianity, justification by faith,
That's right.
by grace, trusting in Christ alone, and necessity of repentance, and the new birth. This is what happened at Huntington Beach on Saturday. This Catholic said he didn't know if he was born again, so I told him Jesus said he had to be born again, went through the commandments, and he was very congenial once he understood that.
Yeah, especially since your daughter is 10, Shane, I would be more concerned with her spiritual well-being than how much head knowledge she has about the Roman Catholic Church. Your first mission as her dad is to present the gospel to her,
That's a
and
good point.
hopefully the Lord will in fact save her. And I would do the same with your estranged wife too. I wouldn't spend time arguing Catholic dogma with her. Speak the truth in love.
Right.
And our prayer for you is that you'll be reconciled to your wife.
And once someone's born again, they have the Holy Spirit to lead them into all truth.
That's right. Chad, any thoughts?
I kind of like where Ray was going with that Spurgeon thing, because the best way to spot a counterfeit is to know the original. That's what you do. You don't spend a lot of time learning about all the different counterfeits that are out there. First, you learn the original, and then you have a pretty good sense about what a counterfeit is. Now, the major difference, which most of us know, between Roman Catholicism and biblical Christianity is Roman Catholicism teaches that you're saved not just by grace and through faith, but there's some works that are thrown in there as well. So that's the major difference. It's a works righteousness religion, so just be sure to bring your daughter up in knowing that we're saved by grace through faith, not of works, and there sure is a really good case for that in Scripture. You don't have to spend a lot of time talking to her about, what happens at the Eucharist and the transubstantiation and how Jesus, they believe really becomes a part of that bread. She's not really going to be even knowing about a lot of these things. And most Catholics, when you do bring up these deeper doctrines that the Roman Catholic Church teaches, they are legitimately astonished and surprised by it.
That's true.
So first and foremost, just make sure that she knows what the true gospel is, that she's born again, and raise her up in biblical Christianity. She'll be able to spot those counterfeits. And pray. Pray for her.
And the key is to, once again, expound the spiritual nature of God's law. God requires truth in the inward parts, and separate the possibility of anyone getting to heaven by works.
Right.
And that the way to do it is to use the law in its spiritual context.
Yeah. Chad made an excellent point regarding counterfeits in law enforcement. We didn't spend a lot of time looking at different counterfeit bills because there are so many different counterfeits. We spent time studying the real thing. And the more you come to know the real thing, the easier it is to spot a phony when it comes along.
A 1960s Coca-Cola advertisement.
The real thing?
That's what it sounded like to me.
I'm not going to sing that jingle.
Good.
I won't. Okay. All right. Hey, let's go to the chat room. What's going on in there today, Chad?
Yeah, make sure you guys are sending your questions. I get them sent to me, and it seems that we're lacking. So first question, got milk?
You're not serious.
No, I'm serious. And next question.
Well, I mean, I don't have it right now, but I drink it at least once a day. Okay. Have it on my cereal every morning.
I go through about three gallons a week.
I didn't know you guys were really going to go ahead and answer
we can stretch this out. Hey, you know what?
Well, seriously, no. God's idea of blessing is a land flowing with milk
and honey.
It's a bit sticky, the honey bit, but it's good. It's good
honey's the only food that doesn't spoil. That's a good trivia question out in the open air.
Yeah, I'd stick with it then.
Yeah.
Don't ask us questions like that if you don't want the answers. All right, do we have a legitimate question coming from the chat room?
You guys really milked that one.
Aye!
All right. Is there a right and wrong way to use fake money tracts that you throw on the floor? My friend doesn't agree with them, like most of my Christian friends.
Well, there is a wrong way to use, I think, money tracts.
Don't spend them.
Well, yeah, don't try to spend them. There was a guy who actually tried to deposit.
There's been a few.
There's been a few. Someone tried to get change for $1 million in a Walmart. He's spending a lot of time with the Secret Service right now. That didn't work out too well for him. Yeah, so don't try to use it as legitimate money. One thing I never do with a money tract is I never give one to a homeless person.
Yeah, it's cool.
Too easy for them to be offended thinking that I'm mocking their current financial state, and so I never do that. If I'm going to give a tract to a homeless person, I'll give them something other than Other than a
makes
money
sense.
tract.
Yeah.
But for you, Ray, is there a wrong way to use those tracts other than
Well,
passing them
unsafe.
as counterfeit money?
The only ones that don't like them are some Christians.
Right.
Yes. We've sold about 25 million, Daniel? About 25 million. So there are some people that really like them, but people who don't share their faith usually don't like them.
Yeah, as far as leaving them on the ground, I mean, I love to do that at theme parks. You know, I have 4 ladies. I think I mentioned this before. Got 4 ladies at home, and when it's time to take a restroom break,
They're your family.
they are my family.
Good.
Wife and 3 daughters.
Good.
And when it's time for the ladies collectively to take a restroom break, I probably have upward of a half an hour to, to do nothing. And so I'll put a tract on the ground, and I'll step aside and wait for someone to pick it up and look at it, put it in their pocket, and
Yeah, it's fun.
yeah, it is. It's a
Even
lot
the
of fun.
wallet track can
The
be.
wallet track, yeah, that
I-
might be the one he's referring to. too.
Somebody in LAX actually saw that on the ground in the Los Angeles airport, picked it up and took it to the counter.
Oh, really?
They did. They handed
Turned
it
it in. There's an honest person for
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
And so we're serious.
Chad, do you think there's a wrong way to use the money tracts?
I've done it.
What, you've done the wrong way?
Yeah.
Oh, what's the wrong way?
Okay, so it was along the lines of what you said. Don't give it to a homeless person because they'll confuse it for real money. I was driving my car one day, and I was with Aubrey, my wife, and I saw a homeless person that was up ahead, and I was gonna give him a few bucks out of my center console. So I opened up the center console, and I didn't have any cash in there at all. So I figured, okay, I'll give him a gospel tract. So I'm looking. I dig, and I find a $1 trillion bill. Not thinking, I roll down the window, I hold it out, want to give it to him, and the guy is running down the Meridian, screaming, thank you so much. And I realized, oh no, he thinks this is real money. He gets it, he grabs it, and I go, wait, it's not exactly what you think. It's not real money, but it's better than money. And he looks at it, he goes, oh, no thanks, man, and like tries to hand it back to me. I'm jamming it back in his hand. I go, please take it. I'm sorry. I really goofed up. So I roll up the window. He ends up taking it. Okay. Roll up the window, and Aubrey's looking at me. She goes, what is wrong with you? And I go, I didn't have any money to give him. She goes, why didn't you just give him one of the round tuits instead? Which is another tract that we have that doesn't look like money. I
Right.
just didn't realize. I didn't see that it was there. So I apparently had the option, to give him a round tuit or the $1 trillion bill. I accidentally gave him the $1 trillion bill, him thinking that it was real money. Either way, though, he got the gospel. So I'm happy with that.
So that's what a woman is for. She's a help mate.
That's right.
She's there to
Yes.
tell you when you've done wrong.
And I think more often than not, the Christians who complain about the way other Christians do evangelism are oftentimes Christians who are not doing evangelism. So I would rather be doing evangelism the way I'm doing it than the way most Christians aren't doing it. So who said that? Was that Booth or
You just said it.
Wesley?
I heard you just say it.
Yeah, I just said it, but it didn't come from me. Nothing new under the sun. I don't think I've ever had an original thought. So.
That was Buddha you're quoting there.
No, I was not quoting Buddha. All right, one more question, or at least one more.
Sure. Must I stop handing out tracts if I'm told it's soliciting? What about littering? I think it's called distributing literature, not soliciting.
Well, it depends on the circumstances. For some reason, mall security guards, mall managers, they can't get it through their head that handing someone a gospel tract is not soliciting by definition. But yet they still go to that. If you're in a situation like that, if you're in a mall and someone representing the mall comes up to you and says, hey, you can't do that here, you may have to, obey their rules and procedures as far as doing that. What was the other part of the question?
Trashing.
Oh, yeah, trashing.
It reminds me of what happened to me years ago. I was in a mall, and a security card came up, and I was giving out the Titanic tracks. When Titanic was going down well, and he said to me, "You can't give those out. People will drop them. They'll litter." I says, "People don't litter with our tracks." And he took it from me. I said, "Give it back now," and he said, "No." He wouldn't give it back.
Well, here's the thing about littering on a legal standpoint. It is not littering for you to hand somebody a gospel tract and for them then to throw it on the ground. The person who throws it on the ground is the one who is littering. It is not the person who is distributing the tract. In fact, the U.S. Supreme Court has held for decades that a municipality cannot restrict the distribution of literature in a public place simply because some other person may throw it on the ground.
But it's
and
always
litter.
good to say to someone you hand it to, make sure you don't litter.
That's right. Don't throw it out. Yeah. In fact, I was handing out a tract that said, if you don't want anything to do with Jesus Christ, just go ahead and put this in a trash can. And oftentimes I would get them to turn it over and, yeah. You don't like that one, huh? Okay. Chad?
I liked your trash talk segment. It was good. Trash
Talk. We're trash talking here. All right. One more question.
Okay. Must I? Okay, that's the same question. From season 3, Way of the Master, which 3 or 4 episodes would you recommend for showing at church on an evening service?
During an evening service?
Yeah. That's
Oh,
the
we
question.
might have different opinions on this.
Maybe Battle for the Lost would be a good one.
Yeah, that's the first episode, isn't it?
I can't remember.
Okay.
which it is. Yes, it is, according to the authorities.
Pass that test.
Daniel. Good one. Oh, and other ones?
Any others?
Yeah, other ones would be great. What is it? Daniel? Oh, Why Christianity is
Christianity is a good one.
a
That's
really
good
good one,
apologetic.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're standing on a plane and all that. On the wing of a plane. Kirk and I are standing on the wing of a plane.
Wing
That's
and
a
a
good
prayer.
one. Yeah. So that'd be the top 2, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Chad?
Yeah, it's great. I'm getting mixed signals from everyone right now. I think we're supposed to go to the winners.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
go to the winners.
Our
Okay.
winner number 1, Preston Watts from Missouri. Chris Davis is number 2 from Arkansas, and 3, Alicia Ashley from Oregon.
I think Alicia has won before. I think she might be a 2-time winner.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so the 3
Good
of you are
work.
going to get Ray's CD, How to Get on Fire for God. We got about a minute left. Let's see if we can get at least another question out of the chat
Well,
room.
I got a cue here, just a little reminder. On the Box is live Monday through Friday, 11:30 Pacific.
Oh, and
Standard
time. We've restricted the time.
Yeah.
Remember,
Oh,
you got-
yes.
should
Okay.
mention that.
Yeah. I say that we're on it. I say we're on every day at 11:30.
No, you got about 50 seconds to explain why we
Okay.
end the show 2.5 minutes early from now on.
Yeah, first of all, we really appreciate that some of you diehard fans who are watching the show want 30 minutes and more, and maybe someday you'll get more than 30 minutes. Someday. We're hoping for that. But we've limited the show now to 28 minutes because we're hoping that some of the Christian television networks are going to pick up the show at some point. And by design, the shows have to be limited to 28 minutes so that the stations can provide
20 minutes, 30
advertisement.
seconds.
Yeah.
28 minutes, 30 seconds.
So that's why we do that, which means we only have 17 seconds left.
16.
16, 15, 14, actually.
Whoa.
It's counting down.
Tony,
All
12
right.
seconds, preach the gospel.
All right, I will. Hey, we want to thank you for joining us for another edition of On the Box, which airs every morning, 11:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Until then, be encouraged, strengthened, and unafraid. Proclaim the gospel. You're full of it!
Living Waters presents On the Box.